Hello everyone, Michelle here from the Creative Cove. Thanks for joining me today. I have accumulated 2 full bins of scraps that I seriously need to get through some of these. And I thought I'd turn the camera on and let's just play. Let's kind of have some fun with scraps today. I'm going to do some scrap busting. How about that? Is that a thing? It's going to be a thing today. So I thought what I love to have on hand is little sketches to throw into my journals. I can just glue them in. And I have this really great book. I've used this in videos before. I got it at a secondhand bookshop. It's the Field Book of American Wildflowers. And it is from, well, somebody signed it August 1904 or 1902. It's an oldie but a goldie. And I fell in love with it when I was looking through. It's just simple black and white reference sketches, botanical sketches to all these random wildflowers that grow throughout the US and potentially mostly in Canada as well, southern Canada anyways. And I just really love it as a quick reference for some fun sketches. So we'll use this today. And I also have my other book that I got at the secondhand shop. It's Grasses, and it is again a secondhand book that I found in the same section, botanical section. It's the same. It breaks down all the wild grasses and simplifies their form and shape, and I think it's a really great reference. I love these botanical sketches, and they break down all the little elements, so you can draw just about anything, and you can make it as complicated and complex as you like, or you can simplify it. So these are great books. I always have these on my desk, and I love to use them for a quick note of what maybe I want to draw. So I also have another one of these that I tear up. I actually found 2 of them the same day, the exact same book. So one gets cut up. This one does not get cut up. So here's some random papers that I have that I thought we could doodle on. So I'm just going to make sure I'm in frame here. Maybe I'll move this a bit. And I've just grabbed whatever liner. So this is the Staedtler Pigment Liner 0.3. It is not waterproof, I don't think. I don't know, it's written in German. Oh, waterproof on paper. So it says it's waterproof. So I could apply some watercolor paints to this after if I choose to. I'm just going to, let's work with a composition of something that's the shape of this paper. So you want to work in a composition that applies to the size paper I have, or you can cut the paper, whatever you want. But I just want to use up these scraps. So I'm going to leave them as is and do some doodles here. So literally nice and loose. I'm not trying to capture the exact form or shape of this plant. I'm just doing a quick reference to it. So this is not a botanical sketch in the sense that it's like botany kind of thing where I'm really trying to capture all the details of this plant. This is me just having fun doodling. Very loose. I'm holding the pen kind of high up even just to get an even more loose approach to this plant and the sketching. So I'm just grabbing the overall shape of these leaves, kind of wiggling them a little bit, not too much detail, just enough to imply that there is a leaf shape going on here. I might do a little bit of detail in some of the leaves. And this is a fun way to use up scraps. At least I think so, because it kind of teaches you to relax and practice your sketching without any stress. You're not using up expensive papers. You're not trying to create masterpieces. You're just having fun doodling. I have a cup of tea with me, and I'm just enjoying the process. Now, some of these I might just end up throwing in the recycle bin. Some might get torn up into other kind of clusters, and some might end up being really nice focal points in my journal. You can always take these a step further as well by adding watercolor or pencil, crayon, markers, whatever you have. If you have kind of like a bright colored journal, I tend to work a lot in neutrals, so I never really add a lot of color into my sketches unless I'm looking for something very, very specific. So I'm just gonna do the flower here. So you can see very loose. So you can pause with me, you can you can sketch with me and pause the video and just doodle along with me. I would love that. It's so nice to hear that people do that they take their time and just sketch along with me. I get a lot of feedback from people learning stuff. And I think one of the biggest things I hear is, you know, they're more relaxed when they're watching a video like this because they realize it's not quite so stressful to sketch something like flowers or whatever it is we have to be sketching that day, because we're doing it together, we're taking our time, and there's no pressure. It's just fun. That's all it's meant to be. So you can see I'm a little heavier on my pen on the flowers. So I'm going to put some weight to this by darkening up the main stems, giving it a little grounding maybe. And there's another stem that comes out this way. So for this one, I'm just going to tuck it behind. Can't tell if it's a flower or if it's a leaf, which is nice. So this one will give the little leaf texture too, and this one will leave plain, so it kind of implies there's a flower back there. And that's it. You can sign your work if you want. And then we'll grab another scrap. Flip the page. So this one's more of a square. So let's go back to that one maybe we had before. If we can find it. Oh, that's a pretty one. What's this one back here? And if you have nice handwriting, which I don't, it'd be really nice to kind of add the name of the flowers to these. This one's really pretty. Downy yellow violet. So it'd be nice if you could write that. I've got terrible handwriting. I've never loved my handwriting, even when I was forced in school to practice and practice. I just never was interested in acquiring neat handwriting, and I regret it now, I can tell you, because it'd be so nice to be able to write these names of these flowers out all by myself without having to type them or stamp them. It's kind of nice to have the name reference with it too. All right, and do another one over here. So I'm using the sketch inside the book as kind of like a guideline. I'm not really copying exactly what I see. You can, of course, you can practice as using it as a reference. You just have to be careful. You can't resell the image or anything like that for copyright issues. But I mean, if you're trying to practice and you want to draw exactly what you're seeing, it's a good way to develop your skills by trying to draw exactly what it is you're looking at. For me, I just like to kind of use these as a reference as to what the flower looks like, because I'm not too familiar. And like I said, I'm not trying to capture the flower exactly. I'm just having fun doing some sketches that I can then glue into my journals. Do another one over here. Maybe facing the other way. Something that simple. And you could put shading in these, of course, if you like. And grab another scrap here. Here's a fun scrap. Let's do something different with this one. Maybe something like this. will go in and imply that texture. Then I kind of want to create the stem here so I know where I'm going. If you hear snoring, it's the puppy. She's under my feet here snoring away. We just went for a nice, super long walk. I try to take her for an hour a day, if not more. Try to get all my steps in now that my hips are healing. And it's good for me to be outside. And right now, it's beautiful outside, actually. It's like 14 degrees. And all the spring flowers are starting to burst open in the deep forest, which is really nice to see. And the lush green coming out. So you can see this is not what's drawn here, but I am just having fun kind of creating my own little botanical flower. And I will make it up as I go. So if you want to add the name, you might want to create the sketch to look like what it is that you're referring to. But because I'm not adding any names to these sketches, just having fun using up my scraps, that I'm not worried about it referring to anything specific. Just having fun doodling. I'll go out here with a leaf. Sorry, yeah, a leaf, not a petal. And then into one of the big leaves. Just sketching along. You can use a pencil, use a ballpoint pen. Don't need anything fancy. Just your time and your effort. Something like that. And that's a fun scrap too. It's a very unpredictable shape that we can add things to. Let's see here, I'm gonna pull some other funky scraps out. Some tracing paper. All right. Let's do one of these. So now I'm on some darker paper. Pretty flower. Not sure what that is. Purple Geradia. I don't know. Never heard of it. But it's pretty. So what's nice too is when you're drawing flowers like this is you can start practicing your kind of depth to a drawing. So for example, putting these flat against like this, and then you'll see this one is in front of the branch. So instead of just drawing the stem right down, you can practice putting the illusion of a flower right in front of the stem. So it gives it a little bit more realistic feel when you have flowers growing sideways, forwards. This one is obviously behind the stem. And it's those little tricks. Learning how to capture that will really elevate your sketches into something that looks a lot more realistic, even though we are just really scribbling right now. We're not giving a lot of detail at all. But what a cute little addition to a journal. Let's try, what's this? Yeah, this is tissue paper. Tracing paper, I believe it is. Oh, some sort of daisy, golden aster. Now those we have, I think ours are purple. We have some form of wild aster here. And then a leaf, another leaf. I'll do another little flower coming out that hasn't quite opened. So this is getting a little heavy on the tracing paper because the tracing paper is absorbing the ink very quickly. So I'm getting a very dark line as opposed to it on the regular paper. So here, let's do one facing us a little bit and a break in that stem. You see the difference? And then we'll do all the leaves. And then maybe another stem coming up here. I'm not even concentrating much on the look of these flowers, just having fun, kind of implying them. And then some leaves. The same thing, if you end up not liking that sketch, just pitch it, start again. I do it all the time. Cute. Kind of be nice on top of a piece of brown paper. Okay, that one. Got this paper here. This one's kind of folded, so let's play with that a bit. Yeah, that's what I have. That's what we have, the New England aster. Go back into this beautiful book. Such a pretty book. Here's some dogwood. Let's do a big dogwood. So I'm going to do it so it opens up. So I'm give it its seedy center here. So you can see I'm just scribbling that texture in. I'm not drawing all individual seeds. And then I'm going to do the dogwood's got this kind of cut out, depending on the kind of dogwood it is. And then this one coming towards us a little bit. And then this one. Okay, and then it has that striped texture to it. I don't want to spend too much time on it. I just want to have fun sketching it in. Okay, and then it kind of sits on this really woody stick. Little sketch, and then you open up and you can journal in here. So it's a nice little something different. What's this? Let's see if we want to add something to this piece. And that's nice. Could try something on top of this and see what we think. Maybe this way. Little cups. Again, just implying the texture of the flowers. I'm not drawing every single individual one in. And then the stem, and then these leaves, really pretty leaves. Again, some in front. Something simple. All right, let's try and find some scraps that have texture on them. Something like this. It might be a little too busy. The busier they get, the harder they are to draw in because they can be overwhelming. Let's see if we can't grab something. Should do. Get the idea. So here's one. So that's pretty plain, but this side has some textures on it, but we can add something to it. That's pretty. So let's do that. I'll do the little flowers. Another little flower over here. And their stems. And then it all joins to the center. And then the one out here. The one out here. Something that simple. And then maybe we'll add them to our clusters in a second. We'll do something with them. Tidy it up a little bit. This paper is very slippery. Got a film on it of some kind. My pen's just slipping right all over it. Must have some sort of wax coating or something on the paper. It's nice, it's fun, dramatic. It's not so much a scrap anymore. It's a little work of art, right? And that's the fun of using up these types of scraps. I think I'll switch to a pencil for a minute and see what we like. Go in here, grab another inspiration. Let's try this guy. Just one sheet. I guess it is. Go this side. So we're going to make this plant narrower to fit in this space. Narrower? More narrow? Is narrower a word? I don't think it is. It doesn't sound like one anyways. I could do this for hours. Just sit here, doodle along. I don't like the pencil on that, so I'm going to scrap that one. I didn't like the pencil confronting with that. It was a little bit too light. I think I'm going back to the pen for this one. The pencil I think works pretty much just on, for my taste anyways, works just on the plain papers. I don't think I like the look of the pencil against some busy background. I think I like the contrast of the pen more. Okay, let's go further down here. We'll put this big guy in front. And then it's got the flower over here. I think this is milkweed. Yes, it is common milkweed. We have lots of this. It's very pretty. Lots of monarch butterflies live on this. We find many cocoons. Are they cocoons? Or this, what are they called? This chrysalis on these plants come October. The kids and I used to watch them. We'd collect some and then put them in a fish tank with screen on the top and with milkweed plant in there and watch them turn from caterpillars to full-blown butterflies. Kids always loved that. And then set them free and off they go down to Mexico. That's pretty. I like that. Something different. seat a little. There we go. All right, let's do maybe one more. Do we do a scrap like that already? Let's do a really dark, let's do a darker scrap. This one, it's pretty. Something as simple as this to add to your collection. And it takes your scraps in a whole different direction. You can also stamp too as well if you're not a sketcher or you're too intimidated to try it. I do hope you try it, but if it's not your cup of tea, I totally understand. You can always take your scraps and stamp them and make some, let's try some grass actually. Just elevate your stamps to something different. This is cute. Cute little piece of grass here. Smooth finger grass. So you can find inspiration in the funnest places. I love my secondhand bookstore. They have a great botanical section. I've become a regular. I don't always buy stuff. I just sometimes go in there and enjoy, you know, going through the books and reading some of the small little magazines they have in there, little field magazines, and being inspired. I usually buy something though, because I usually get excited when I see a new book. And in this case, a couple of old books. Something that simple. Okay, let's do some little, we've got our sketches here. And again, I would just collect a whole bunch of them. I wanted to do that one, but that's okay. So let's just put them all together. And you see, it wasn't very long when we got this done. We got all these sketches done. So I think that's kind of cool. And then I would just bundle them up from kind of largest to smallest sort of deal. And then when I'm building stuff, when I'm doing my end of day kind of, I got to use up more scraps type things, that's when I'll use them. So let's get the ruler out here. And I think I'll use a stick of glue for this. And we'll make a couple little clusters. So again, great way to use up scraps. And if you're like me and have too many scraps, well, this is the answer. All right, put that in here. It doesn't use up all your scraps though. You still have more. The dilemma, the scrap dilemma. I got these. I'm trying to show you my scraps that I'm using at the same time. I don't know if these are the wrong one. These are supposed to be my textured neutrals. I just layer them on. And then I probably, for these, run them through the sewing machine a little bit. just for some added interest. This guy's getting wider and wider. And that way I don't have to worry too much about hitting it all with the glue accurately. Okay, so let's go into the scraps now. Let's see what we like. That's fun. The scraps with our sketches. Make the sketches that we just did a nice focal point. Bit too big. Bit too big still. This one's really fun. Kind of hides all our bits and pieces. Where's our smaller ones? Here we go. That's fun. I like that. Okay, let's do a few more. Move these out the way for a second. Grab a bigger piece. It's a little bit easier to work with a bigger piece. These ones already have stitches in it, look. That's fun. I like to use this one. So I'm going to find a piece that I like going down the side here. Something like that. That's what I got. Some antique pages here. And now this guy. You can add some scrap lace, texture. You can add some stamping. I have this little scrap bin here of lacy bits and pieces. Here's something like this. Cut. Maybe some of this. Let's try that. Right next to our sketch. Look, that's cute. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to hold that in place before I get to my sewing machine. So it kind of holds it there. Maybe tuck this guy underneath. I don't think I like the pink with that one. Even something that simple. All right. So let me throw these through the sewing machine. I'm not going to do that on video because my sewing machine doesn't really show up on the camera anyways. And I sew better when nobody's looking. True. It's really true. Okay. I'll be right back. Okay, so here we go. They're been sewn. I just threw in some stitches and you can see my sewing machine tension starting to act up. So, excuse me, it makes a funny looking stitch. So this is supposed to be a zigzag stitch, but you can see it's pulling because the tension's off. I have to get my sewing machine looked at, but it will do. It's kind of fun and interesting. So it made some really nice little additions, little clusters. This one would be really nice just as a journaling card. And just add a simple pull to the top of that. And Bob's your uncle. You have a cute little journaling card. I'm just going to do it. So I don't have one of those funky little tab makers. Kind of old school. So I just kind of make it up as I go. Do my best. Sometimes they look good. Sometimes they look kind of funny. It's not too bad. put that on the top here. Like that. And then I'll probably add just a little something across here. It feels a little bit more natural looking. But you can see the fun you can have with your scraps when it comes to just doing some quick little sketches and having fun and having the freedom to just pick up a pen and go for it. And I hope you do. I hope you give it a try. And of course you can do this using something simple like stamps as well. There's no wrong or right here, especially on my channel. It's all about having fun and being creative and doing something that makes you happy. And I hope this gives you some ideas on using your scraps and making you happy. You know, you can just sit. I tend to do most of my drawing in the evening. I'm either knitting or drawing. And I really love this idea of just using up your scraps with some botanical sketches. And then what you can do with them is just grab yourself your journal. You've got yourself a little journal here, and you can glue them in. It's little mini works of art here. Let's find one that I like. Or tuck them in. So maybe you have tuck spots. Do you have any tuck spot? This one's kind of full, but you could tuck it in. And now you've got that ready to go. Well, I hope that gives you ideas. I hope you had fun. I hope you picked up the pen and sketched along with me and made some really quick, loose, fun drawings that you can keep in a cluster. You can just insert right in a journal for people to paste down, and they're yours, your very own little sketches. So I hope you enjoyed that, everyone, and hit the like and subscribe button if you do. Please leave me a comment below if there's anything else you'd like to see, and I'll try and make it happen. All right, everyone, have a great day. Bye.